Look around. Everything that people had ever created, from cars to airplanes, from computers to satellites and many gadgets around you, started from raw materials that our ancestors found in nature. Surprisingly, human beings had created all of these things without any instruments at the beginning. Despite the complexity of our modern mathematics and sciences, it all boiled down to the instructions to our muscle movements for this to happen. So obviously, with enough time and knowledge, your muscles could also repeat this process. However, if you are like 100% of other people, you don't know how to do it. Well, we want to change that, and here's how. It is quite obvious that all what people had ever done is apply this formula, where F represents the situations that they are in, Y the situations they desire, and X the actions, which when applied to F produces the equality. But how do people accomplish this? Our hypothesis is that people do nothing more than just set goals, look for ideas to achieve them, initiate projects based on them, break them down into milestones, and try to work on tasks in them to maximize the satisfaction of their needs. And that this hierarchical portfolio optimization has precise mathematical and probabilistic sense. Based on these insights, we started mapping out the procedural knowledge, and it seems that according to this hierarchy, we will not only be able to essentially understand any project, but also explain all projects with this hierarchy to the vast majority of people. We enabled the collection of information about historical projects as well as new ones, using it as a task management system. And we are confident that if we do so for the monumental projects of mankind, we will change the status quo of procedural knowledge. It will become clear to people how did we get to the modern age, and if people use it to manage their day-to-day work, they will feel the significance of their daily tasks in the global risk landscape. But is it the only thing that's important? It's not. Look around. People in modern society are closed into security groups like families, companies, and countries, which don't get along very well with each other. Despite the capabilities of the internet, they don't readily share the intimacy, the resources, and knowledge with one another. We want to change that too, and here's how. We started with language and then looked at currency. It's obvious that without understanding each other's language, we're nowhere near intimately understanding each other's. Modern machine translation software is far from accurate when it comes to translating about matters of strategic importance. It is also obvious that without a transparent credit system, we're nowhere near a rational agreement about a fair share of scarce resources that each of us deserves. However, there seems to be a way to this agreement. It is quite obvious that everything that was ever made by people was done so using people's time to do work, and that human time is the ultimate valuable, convertible to all assets made by humans. So we came up with a principle to record, derive, and trade value of work by defining and creating a system around the following 5 aspects of time with respect to work, based on the natural flow of work in society. And the Infinity Project, which tries to represent the procedural knowledge and create understanding and trust in our society. Having financial information transparent and crossing language barriers would create the trust needed to exchange intimacy and know-how in society. And both are valuable. If you're like me, you couldn't afford the most advanced medical technologies in case you needed them. However, the most advanced medical technologies are also a result of our muscle movements, and by collecting and sharing know-how, we together can convert the atoms around us into the needed medical equipment too. With knowledge and empathy, we could save the lives of billions. But that's not all. we realize that it could well be that not only everything that was consciously created, but also everything that will be consciously created in the future will be a result of solving equation f from x equals y. And we predict that this little formula will outlive superintelligence. And if so, we think it is better to organize ourselves as humans to define the right side of the equation.